Today, we're going to talk about the best and worst places for a first date. As a dating coach, a lot of guys make the mistake of taking a girl out on a date to the wrong places. So, today, we're going to put them into a tier list from the best to worst date places. Starting with the first one, the coffee shop. Now, the coffee shop is a very common place to take a girl out on a date. The reason for it is because it's simple, it's casual, doesn't take a lot of time commitment, and it's a great place because it's cheap. However, some drawbacks of this being coffee shops open mostly during the daytime. So if you take a girl out on a date during the day, then she might have evening plans, meaning that your time with her is limited. And because your time is limited, it's hard to actually get to know someone and relate to someone and connect with that person. A lot of times, it's not about the number of dates you go on, it's about how good the date is. And the longer the date is, usually the better the results you're going to have in terms of connecting with a girl. And because coffee is a stimulant, it's going to make you more nervous. You're going to get nervous regardless because it's going to be the first date, but coffee isn't going to help you become less nervous. So, for this reason, I am going to put it into the B tier. And also, because coffee shops are not that romantic, doesn't have the ambiance of a lounge where jazz plays, it's going to make you feel harder to connect verbally as well as escalate physically because the chairs are hard, people are doing the blenders in the back, and it's just hard to even hold hands or make a move at the coffee shop. When's the last time you saw someone make out at a coffee shop? Very, very rarely. I've never seen that happen before, as a matter of fact. So for that reason, it's just in the B tier list. Next, the gym or climbing gyms. The gym is good because if you guys are both active, physical people, then this is a great place for you guys to eventually meet up and get a workout in. However, this might not be the best place for the first date because on the first date, you want to look your best, and so does she. And going to the gym, she's wearing something more revealing. She might not be comfortable at the gym with you just yet, seeing her sweat, things like that. And it's gonna be hard to really escalate physically because you're working out and you're in a public place where other people are working out. You can't just start dancing with her in the gym or you can't make out with her in the gym, right? So for that reason, I'm gonna put this in the B tier list. And I've done gym dates as well, but definitely not on the first date. Even on second dates, gym dates are kind of awkward. Just saying, from personal experience. Next, and I know a lot of you guys like to go to raves, EDM shows, things like that. And I've done this before too. I've taken a girl out on a second date to EDM show in Vegas. The artist was Loud Luxury, and this was a traumatic experience for me. So what happened was I took her there. That's one of her favorite DJs. We go, obviously I'm not a huge EDM person, so I was just kind of chilling, vibing to the music, wasn't really dancing. And some other dude was dancing. So she started dancing with him. And eventually I went to the bar to get a drink, go outside a little bit, get some air. And then I couldn't find her. Started calling her, texting her, whatever, right? And ended up just leaving. And later on, she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was still there." And but regardless, I redeemed myself because later on she actually came to visit me from a different country. But that's beyond the point. So in order to not lose her on the first date, don't take her to the rave. So for this one, I would put F and in the probably C in the C tier. Maybe if I was a better dancer, if I enjoyed the music, I would have had a better time. All right, next, dinner dates. Dinner dates are great because it is a place where you guys can actually talk. It's a great place to enjoy the food. However, some potential red flags are going to be if a girl is younger and because of today's society and feminism, she might think that she's going to have to split the bill with you. And a lot of times that could be expensive. If you order an appetizer, some cocktails, some entrees, it could be like $80 per person. So this is another reason why some girls are hesitant to go on a dinner date. And another reason is because this one's going to have a longer time commitment. The girls might not be open to doing that if they don't know you well enough. They're going to think that, okay, I'm going to be here for 40 minutes waiting for our food. And what if the conversation sucks? I can't just get out of it because I haven't eaten yet. And, you already ordered. So it's going to be awkward. So that's why they don't want to go on first dates to a dinner spot per se. However, If someone does suggest a dinner spot and gave you a spot that they want to go to, especially if it's very expensive, you're gonna spend at least 200-300 bucks on that dinner, she might be a gold digger and she's using you to eat. And trust me on this, I had lady friends who did this in the past with other men, and you're not the only person she's doing this to. She just wants to take her phone out, take some IG photos with you not in it, obviously, and then post on Instagram, get that clout, saying that, oh yeah, look at me, I was eating at this Michelin star 5-star restaurant. Ha, ha, ha. Anyways, so that's a potential red flag. But for this is actually a great spot. I'll put this in the A category right here. Okay, another one would be a painting class. Some places in the US have this thing called painting with a twist, where you paint together with your date and you drink together with her while you paint. Even though this is fun, very interactive, it's not the best place for conversation because you're going to be taking instruction from the instructor and you can't really escalate verbally or physically. You can't make a joke because there are other people around you there. So it could be good, could be bad. However, this would be a great spot if you guys already know each other, maybe a second or third date. But on the first date, you want to get to know each other. So this might not be the best spot. For this reason, I'm going to put this in the B category. Next, a club. Okay, this is interesting. There are mixed feelings for me because at a club, it's loud, it's noisy, a lot of people, it's cramped, and it's hard to have a conversation. However, this is a great place to show off your dancing skills. And this is a great place for you to actually physically escalate with her, kiss her, right? This is a great spot for you to showcase that if you want to. I wouldn't go to this place in the very beginning. I would perhaps go to dinner, and if dinner goes well, go to the club or go to a bar and then go to a club. Don't go to the club in the beginning because you won't be able to talk to her and it could be awkward and some other guy could steal your girl. For this, I'm gonna give it a C. Next, movie theaters. As we know, we're not in middle school anymore, so there's no reason for us to go to movie theaters anymore with a date, especially on a first date, since you can't really talk in a movie theater. There's nothing you can do. You can't touch, you can't talk, you can't do anything. So for this, I give it an F. Next, interactive places. This could be an interactive museum. It could be a place where you go and have fun, maybe not an arcade, but VR place. This is fun, but a lot of times there are other people around you, and it's not a place. It's much of a PG place, so you can't really escalate, flirt, tease, things like that. You could get kicked out. One time I was with a girl at this sex museum in New York, and we almost got kicked out because of both being kind of handsy with each other. And it could be good, could be bad. So for this one, I'll put in the C category. However, after first dates, second, third dates, great spot. Dance halls, dance places, country dancing, whatever kind of dance salsa you want to do. Could be a great place if you are a good dancer. However, because other people are going to be dancing with your girl, you might get jealous if you are a jealous person. And because this is a first date, she doesn't really have a lot of feelings for you yet. This could be a bad place to bring a girl because someone else could have that chemistry with her afterwards to get her number. And then now you brought a girl to another guy, basically, to other guys. So for this one, I'll put into C category, kind of like the rave. At this point of the video, I wanted to shout out today's sponsor, yours truly, the Asian dating coach, helping men overcome limiting beliefs, racial barriers, past traumas, and actually date the person they want to date. I've been doing this since 2016 and have helped over hundreds of men. So if you're someone who wants to have the confidence to talk to women in person or have matches online, as well as going on dates with them, then hit me up. Schedule a 15-minute call with me down here below in the description, and we'll talk about if I can help you. Okay, back to the video. Ah, the bar. The bar is one of my favorite places to meet women, like I said before, and also one of my favorite places to bring women to the first date. And the reason why the bar is good for me is because, unlike the club, it's quieter, it's more relaxed, and it doesn't take a lot of time commitment. I like to go after dinner, like, hey, let's go out to this place close to me or close to you, and we can go for a drink. And if the vibe isn't good, we can leave after the first drink. If the vibe is great, we can stay until it closes. So usually around like 8:30 to perhaps 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And the reason why this is good, because like I said before, you can have a conversation with them, and alcohol is not a stimulant, it's a depressant, meaning that it's going to get you more relaxed. It's going to lessen your inhibitions. It's going to actually want you or make you talk more to the person without feeling judged or being in your head all the time. So for that reason, because people are shy on the first dates, usually they're trying to be their best selves. And a lot of times we're in our heads on the first date. This is a great place to relax, kind of chill and just talk about whatever and have fun. For this reason, it's in the S tier, baby. Next, hiking. I know a lot of people are outdoorsy people, especially if you live in a place where hiking is readily available, like Oregon or Seattle or Austin, Texas, perhaps. It's not a good place for a first date because number one, women don't want to sweat on their first date. They don't want their makeup to run off on their face. They don't want their mascara to drip, things like that. They don't want to smell bad either, especially in the dead of the summer. And because hiking is more solitary, she might not be interested in going there since you're gonna be alone with her. She's gonna be alone with you. She might be scared. She wants other people. What if the date goes bad and you get super awkward and she gets weird about it? She's gonna be scared. So for this reason, never, ever, ever take her on a hiking date as your first date. Once again, other dates after that, fine, but definitely not on the first date. Lunch and brunch places, obviously lunch and brunch is less of a time commitment, which is good for the girl because they know if the day goes bad, they can leave. It doesn't take forever like a dinner would. And also it's cheaper than a dinner. So even if the day goes bad, she's willing to go Dutch and pay for half the bill. But the only caveat is that usually lunch and brunch are had if you're a normal person in the middle of the day, around noon or afternoon. And maybe she has plans in the evening. So even if you guys are having a fun time, if you guys are moving the data along in the right direction, because it's not long enough, it might not escalate to a point where you feel or she feels deeply connected to you to want to see you again. You might have fun. It might get to a point where it almost escalates to a deeper connection, but if it never does, then she might not want to see you again. And I know a lot of guys are very shy. They don't want to overstep any boundaries, so they might not want to flirt or might be hesitant to flirt if it's a shorter time. So for that, I want to put it into the A tier. After that, we have arcades. So in an arcade, it's fun, right? Dude, a lot of times they serve alcohol and it's in the nighttime. They open late. For that reason, it's like a bar. There are games for you to play. However, don't fall into the trap of just playing the games. Actually talk to each other, have a conversation with each other, relate to each other, maybe on the game. Let's say that you guys are playing some kind of racing game, boom, boom. You might say, hey, one time I was a kid, I did this, and relate to a story when you're younger, or perhaps whenever you're playing basketball, right? Let's say you're shooting the hoops. You could tell her about your high school or college days where you play basketball or you almost made it to D1 as a walk-on, perhaps, or if you were 6 inches taller, you could have made it to the NBA. Woohoo, right? Any of that could work. For that reason, I'm going to put this in the S tier. After that, it's the park. The park is actually a great place for a date because it's low commitment and it's also in the public. If someone is a little hesitant about going on a date with you, they might go because it's a park and you could have a little picnic there. If you don't have a lot of money, the park is a great place to go because you could bring your own food, have some picnic. It's romantic, have a little song playing in the background, pour some wine, especially around sunset. It's a nice place. And if you have dogs, right? Bring your dogs, have your dogs play with each other's dogs and then you guys can play with each other afterwards. For this reason, I'm gonna put is in the S tier as well. Okay, last but not least, is shopping. This doesn't have to be the mall, it could be somewhere else. Even though you get to talk to her while you shop with her, a lot of times this is a red flag because if someone just wants to go shopping on the first date, then they want to buy something. And when you're trying to impress her, they're going to want you to buy it for her, especially if it's going to be a lot of money, like a bag or some shoes, right? And a lot of times guys are going to do that if they're simping for the girl because they think that the girl's out of their league. So for this reason, I don't suggest this. I would suggest maybe a bar or dinner if you want to get to know her. And yeah, obviously, I might have missed out on some things, and you could disagree with me, of course, but this is my list. So if you have any comments, make sure to comment below, and we can talk about it next time. Okay, take it easy. Oh yeah, forget. Uh, like and subscribe, right? I'm new to this, kind of.